The RowdCAST contains adult languages, adult themes, and adult situations. Viewer discretion is advised.
No! No! No!
This is the RowdCAST. It's where I talk about what I want, when I want, however the fuck I want, and you can't do nothing about it, because this is the goddamn internet.
What the fuck is the internet?
First of all, dude, you don't have an ex. Secondly, this is a fucking show dog with fucking papers. You can't board it, it gets upset. Its hair falls out. Walter, fucking dog has fucking papers. Over the line!
Fuck it, I'm about to graduate. You should be sucking on my ball sack.
Oh man, that's cold! I'm a maniac on the floor, and I'm dancing like I've never danced before.
You are now entering the RowdCAST, an online internet radio show brought to you weekly by me, your host, Rowdy Radloff, coming live from Bellevue, Ohio. Buckle up. It's going to be a bumpy ride. Oh, okay. We got this thing going. We're back. Hopefully it's going to record and play the way that it needs to play, but I can't make any promises. This is the third time trying to record this episode, so as much as it is a pain probably to you guys to have to deal with trying to listen to this stuff, it's a bigger pain for me that I can't get this recorded down. So I have a good episode for you if we can get through it. It should be interesting. It's a weird ass fucking world that we live in every day. I'm trying to read shit on here. You couldn't guess some of the stuff that we see every day. Just the crazy people killing people, attacking each other, robbing each other, thieving, drugs, I don't know if I talked about it before, but Russia right now is, they're going to fucking, they've signed this thing as like a peace treaty or a ceasefire with the Ukrainian government, but ever since the day that they signed it, they've been battling. They've been shooting and blowing each other up. Even though they keep saying it's a ceasefire, they keep shooting each other and killing each other. So that's interesting. Putin is saying one thing to us, saying this is not going on and this is not happening, blah, 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 and then turning around and doing exactly the opposite. He's doing exactly what he's saying that he's not doing. So that becomes a serious problem, that he's kind of just doing whatever the fuck he wants to do. But I do agree that this is a free country, and, it's a free world. So if, they want to do this and even though what they're doing isn't right, for the most part, if that's what they want to do, that's what they want to do. We don't really need to intercept that or have anything to do with that, I feel. But Putin is he's a strange bird, man, and he does what he wants to do when he wants to do it. It's going to be interesting to see how that whole thing pans out. If you are live right now, the chat is open. You can chat with me. This is a live broadcast, 7:05 Eastern Time in Bellevue, Ohio. Appreciate everybody out there listening. I just want to get in as much as possible and get this episode to you. I'm trying to get my word to my people, but some reason that, the device that I usually use when I'm recording, it just keeps kicking me off and saying there's an error encoding my broadcast and blah, blah, blah. So we're trying a different way right now. Some of the headlines I just see: Walmart raises pay to $9 an hour. Awesome. For anybody working at Walmart, getting a pay raise. 2.5 Men comes to an end. Not that I care at all about 2.5 Men, but looks like that show's finally over. The main thing that I wanted to talk about on this episode of the RowdCAST is the technology and how fast it's moving, and some of the realities that we are starting to face now. It's just become, part of society for us because that's what we know. And computers and the internet are so, and cell phones and apps are so engraved into everything we do almost, for most people. You can't say everyone lives that way, but it's more common to be, connected to the internet 24/7 when it's inside your palm or your hand. It comes in a cell phone, and we all have GPS. We all have microphones, like I'm talking to you right now. We all have video devices where I could stream live video if I wanted to from my fucking hand. These are insane. It's years ago, if you would have told someone this and tried to explain to them the technology that we have, the streaming video, streaming live video and streaming live audio like I do with the RowdCAST, they would think you were fucking insane. If you took this technology and you went back to the even if you went back to 1980 or 1975 or something and you showed them an iPhone, the fucking look on their face would think you were absolutely insane. They would think that they'd want you to burn at the stake. They'd think you're some kind of alien, that you're some kind of time, of course you were a time traveler if you're bringing that kind of shit to them, but they would they would seriously lose their mind, because that wasn't feasible back then. There was no way that someone could do something like that. It's really interesting to see where we're going to go. Because, if you think me, when I was a kid, growing up 6, 7, 8 years old, I remember, the Mac computers, the DOS, where it would just, come up with the words, and the DOS prompt would be up, and you type the word in to launch your computer program. And, I just remember all that, the old printers that would print on the old paper that you would tear off the ends of it. And, there's only one kind of printer paper, and it's, and now I see it now, and it kind of spooks me out to think, if I have kids, another 10 years or 15 years, what the craziness is that these kids are going to have. I don't know if you've seen this new thing that Microsoft's been working on that's called HoloLens, and it looks like something out of a straight sci-fi movie, virtual reality type thing, little visor, helmet thing that you put on. It's kind of almost just like a visor that goes around your head. And what it does is it turns everything into holograms inside your room. So you can take your hand and you can draw pictures with your hand, and everyone else that has the holograms on, they'll see the hologram floating there. You can turn your computer into the hologram, and you can move your windows around and your apps around and give presentations through a hologram. You can play your video games through a hologram, like you're actually there and see the stuff around you with the HoloLens on. Just all kinds of creative, really weird and cool things that are going to be able to be done with this. And they're supposed to go on sale by the end of the year. So that's super interesting to see where that's going. I truly believe that the future that we're seeing And we're going to see the holograms that are going to become a huge, huge deal of what society's about and how everything, why have bulletin boards when you can have a big hologram? A little disc or something down there that's presenting a hologram floating there so everybody can see this driving down the highway. When you go to a sports game, you go to a big arena, and in the middle, instead of having ads all over the place and whatever, whenever there's breaks in the play, holograms and stuff, advertisements present themselves floating above the field. I mean, these are the things that they're trying to do and they're working on. So that's what makes it even crazier, is that these are things that are in the works right now. Our lives are so entangled now inside technology that it's part of us, and we're part of it, and it's almost like you can't survive if you don't have the GPS on your phone. And you can't, I remember when I moved down to Atlanta a couple years ago, 3 years ago or so, 4 years ago, I remember going down there a couple times before I moved down there and checking things out and stuff, and trying to learn directions and learn places and stuff, because it was so big, and I was just couldn't wrap my mind around it. I couldn't fathom, how I would understand it or ever be comfortable driving there, and I had to have a GPS. I had to have, a navigation system in my car. So I bought one and put one in, and, that lasted me. I still used it all the time down there. I had no idea where I was going. Once I got used to certain parts of it, I was okay. But, until my phone was okay. I mean, I just thought about it the other day. I have it still in my glove box, but I don't use it. It's just it's an obsolete piece of equipment, because now I have that inside my phone, and I can get somewhere real fast just by touching a button and setting a coordinates. And I follow it on my phone. It talks to me through my stereo because I have Bluetooth, and we're there. You think about like Bluetooth. I mean, everything is about to be Bluetooth. Anything that has wires, pretty soon they're going to make it so that when we try to hook up to it or whatever, there is no wires needed. Your TV recognizes that you have the Apple TV or your Xbox or your DVD player or whatever you're playing, and it automatically syncs the Bluetooth together. That's what we're going to look at. Every device is going to realize that the other device is in the room with it, and they're going to sync together. Say like your toaster, or your coffee machine. You'll Bluetooth your coffee machine to your phone or your visor or whatever, and you'll send a little signal to it that'll say start making coffee, and it'll start making the coffee. It'll do what it needs to do. And I think we're going to see a lot of devices and cars, like unlocking cars, same thing. You can unlock it with your phone. I know I'm moving really fast because, like I said, I'm just afraid I'm going to get cut off and not get you this information. I got to get the information out there. The Bluetooth thing. What I've heard too is these new keys to these cars. They have a chip in them or whatever, and whenever you get close to the car, it unlocks. It has, it recognizes the keys are getting close. It unlocks the car for you automatically. When you get in and you sit in, you have the key in your hand. It either you rub it across the thing, or when you sit down in it, it automatically recognizes that you, the person with the key, has gotten to the car, so it starts the car up automatically. That's automobiles and where the automobiles are going, and technology with the automobiles is insane. Flying cars, definitely. I wouldn't be surprised if in the next 5 years we start seeing a lot of flying cars or cars that drive by themselves. Google's been working on cars. They've been testing them in all these major cities. I seen them when I lived down in Atlanta. They're Google self-drive cars. They're used Google's Google Earth or whatever, and it maps the routes, and they just drive. I don't think they go very fast or anything like that. You know, they keep a pretty minimum speed, but they drive themselves, and you sit there, and the car drives you to your destination. There's nothing involved, you know, and I think that's where we're getting to, where smart cars, you know, not smartphones, smart cars. They know everything around them, everything, you know, when to brake, when to speed up, what the speed limit is. Why do you need to drive? Why do you need to press pedal? Why do you need to brake? You know, I think for me, getting used to fucking sitting there and not doing anything and knowing that a machine is in charge of my life and is going to hit the brakes when it needs to hit the brakes is kind of fucking scary. You know, it'd take us a while to get used to, but it's definitely what we're going to see. We're definitely going to see that kind of stuff. It's, I mean, that's just a given. I mean, if anybody's listening live, I don't know, is there anything that I'm missing or not thinking of? You know, that's what I'm trying to think, that are, you know, that's already out or is coming out that isn't, it isn't, one second, you know, hasn't been talked about yet, or something we're going to see. You know, how easy is it now? You get to your banking. You know, how easy is it to fucking cash it? Change funds, you know, from your savings account to your checking account. Take a check, take a picture of it, the front and the back, and send it. It uploads, and you get your money, and you just dispose of the check. You know, these mobile deposits, and you can do everything on your phone and through your phone, and seeing that kind of stuff. But, you know, how do we trust the cell towers? I mean, when you're on your data plan, what are you exactly doing? You know, who's exactly getting that information? Where's that information traveling through? You know, that's where it gets me to my next point is, if you haven't heard about this big, it's kind of been hush-hush. It's not, hasn't erupted in the media yet. I guess there's some other stuff. It's kind of on the back burner right now, but it's definitely something that's going on. They just found out that I think there's over 100 different banks in 40 different countries. And it's the biggest online banking heist that's ever been done. It's been going on for like at least 3 to 5 years, or something like that. It's been going on for a long time, that they've been slowly taking money and stealing from people. And, you know, they haven't even announced all the banks that are affected or how much total it is, but it's a big chunk of money. And these hackers, or whoever they've just been slowly monitoring, slowly taking care of people's funds and taking them and stealing them. And they've figured it out. And, you know, it's a big deal. And as I said, it's not that big in the media, and I wonder why, because it's pretty scary. You know, I bet out of everybody I know, you know, at least 95% of the people I know use some kind of mobile banking. You know, it's just easy. It's that convenience. That's what technology is for us now. It's convenient. That's why we've gotten fatter, and we, you know, we're less social, and we're, you know, kind of hermits and stuff. We have everything in our hands. We have everything inside our room. You don't need to go downstairs, you know, maybe to make food or to go to the bathroom, to leave your room. You can have everything you need in the touch of your hand. And it's only going to continue to get more and more accessible. Anything, you know, that is something that we really need to worry about is our banking, because I'm guilty of it. I don't pay enough attention to what kind of network, if I'm using someone else's Wi-Fi or something, you know, that kind of information, if the network has been infiltrated or someone's in it, you know, when you punch in that password and go into that online banking and you're checking it out, you're giving all that information to the hackers. So it's something I really need to get better on, and it's something that's really scary. You know, we start talking about giving people access to your bank account and your checking information, your savings accounts. I mean, that worries me. You know, and going with that same theme is we have all that stuff I was talking about, the Bluetoothing and the smart cars and having this and being able to do this and you know, all tied to the internet and get you there faster and this is that much easier and smarter and quicker. Tying all that into the internet and into machinery and technology, you know, that starts to think someone getting control of that. You know, these hackers, if you look at what happened with Sony, where, you know, they say it was the North Korean government, but realistically, was it? How do we know? Was it just a smart couple 16-year-old kids that got into something and, you know, they shouldn't have, and that's what that was the story that we got, you know, about the interview and shit. Maybe North Korea was pissed. I don't know, but what I do know is someone stole a bunch of, you know, took a very, very high class and top technology companies that we have in our society and made fools out of them and infiltrated them and embarrassed them and took and stole stuff from them and smeared their face, you know, smeared their name. You know, it worried people. And if they can do that to them, then what can they do to us? I mean, what can they do to your accounts and, you know, your profiles and information? You know, because it's all out there. Once you tap in, and once you, especially Facebook, once you give your information and everything out there, I mean, it's out there. Anybody can see. You know, it can affect so much of your life. And if you put the wrong bits out there, you know, I'm guilty of it too. Being younger and getting in trouble and, you know, all the probably photographs and stories that are probably out there about me. You know, it's all out there for the world to see. And with the internet, it becomes a little bit easier and accessible. And, you know, do a lot of us have anything to worry about? Probably not. You know, a few dumb mistakes you made when you're drinking or something when you were young, a couple pictures or something. Is that serious? No. But when you have people that have, you know, serious secrets or serious information that doesn't need to be in certain people's hands, it becomes a little bit scarier. And the more that we give them access to our life, when we tap into these apps and these new things and these new way things are done, we give them a doorway into our society and into everything that we're doing, because, you know, if they can take control of your bank accounts and that kind of stuff, when does it stop where they can take control of your TV, take control of your, you know, your ceiling fan or your fucking fridge or your oven, burn your house down? You know, what can't be hacked? You know, what is something that's beyond their reach? I mean, as far as what I know about technology and some of these people, you know, they're crashing Xbox Live and PlayStation Network. You know, this is Microsoft and Sony's online gaming the servers and stuff that you would think they have the top people taking care of those and monitoring those, and they're attacking them all the time and dropping them. All these big networks, you know, Netflix has been attacked before, and, you know, these servers get attacked, and what else is it that's gotten hit? Facebook's been shut down before, and, you know, what happens when they start, you know, we tie them into these cars, they start hacking our cars and crash it. You know, do you think is that beyond the realm of possibility that you have a smart car that drives yourself and somebody hacks into it and speeds it up and fucking wrecks it off the road into a tree? Is that something that's like beyond your comprehension? Like your brain could even comprehend? It shouldn't be, because it's been done before. If you've ever heard of the Michael Hastings story, He's a journalist. Look it up. Read about Michael Hastings. He was a journalist for Rolling Stone, and he had some information on one of the army generals of Iraq, and he was going to blow the whistle on something that was going on, and he never got that information. Never really came to light because he started being attacked by the FBI and followed around by the FBI. He called family and people that were close to him, and he said that they needed to play it cool and just chill out, and he was going to disappear for a while, and that he was afraid that his life was in danger and that they were going to kill him. The FBI and the U.S. government was going to kill him. That's what he told his whole family. He was feared for his life, so he was going to try to leave. And at, I think, like 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock in the morning in downtown L.A., he was driving just down the city street, and his car accelerated to like 90 miles an hour, 100 miles an hour off the road and flew into a tree. Had burst into flames. He was trapped inside and he died. Happened. Fact. Look it up. Now, did the U.S. government or the feds do it? Nobody knows. But there's a lot of fucking questions in that case and in that story. And that's one that's, you talk about, you don't say that, yeah, we're free in the U.S. government, but you don't say the right thing or do the right thing, or you're trying to get the wrong person in trouble or the right person in trouble, if you know what I mean. That opens the fucking floodgates for, if that can be done by our own government to our own people, because he was going to say something he didn't like, what the fuck else can be done? You definitely, if you don't know about Michael Hastings, check that shit out. What is beyond their reach? What can they not get into? What is untouchable for them? I don't, like I said again, I was a web design major, spent my whole life working on computers, used to hang with a lot of hackers, and this whole RowdCAST thing came from me and my buddy, Zach Ferris, when we were younger in high school. He was running servers out of his bedroom at 13, 14 years old. He had his own computer building business that he ran from his parents' house. They would send in, sorry about that, I had somebody calling. They would send in, what's the fucking word I'm thinking of? That fucking threw me off. Got me lost in my fucking conversation. I'm fucking drawing a blank now. Drawing a blank. I'm sorry, I smoked a little bit. It threw me off. I was talking about Hastings. I was talking about technology. I don't know. But my main point with all this is that, we're being too vulnerable to these kinds of attacks and these hacks and them getting control of something that's important, that means a lot to us. If somebody can take your car and wreck it into a fucking tree because they don't like you, if they can do that, what else are we gonna give up and that might be able to fucking happen? It's a scary world that we're coming into, that they, you want to believe that the technology like that is for the best, and it's to make things simpler, and it's to get us moving on. But when these wrong people, I hate the word cyber terrorist, but that's what they use now. These cyber terrorists, this is their game. These are these young kids that grew up using computers and being around computers. Like what I was saying is, hanging with people that were really smart and, doing that day in, day out. And the only way that you learn this kind of stuff is from using it with your hands, is from, doing it yourself, doing it day in, day out, and it starts to stick, and you build on that, and you do this, and you do that. And like I was saying with my buddy, at 14 years old, we were running our own online radio station that we do live from his house. And it was online, it was streamed, we had people in school. When we'd go to school, we had a playlist of hundreds and hundreds of songs that we'd play, and it would just rotate, and we'd have ads and stuff on it, and promos and us talking and stuff. And we'd go to school, and we'd give that link to everybody, and everybody in all the computer classes and stuff, they'd listen to our radio station. And then on certain nights, we'd go live and have live shows and stuff on the weekends. That was what we did. We were 13, 14, and that's kind of where the RowdCAST, that was where I really started getting creative with it, and I really realized that I liked radio. And I loved people listening to my shit and talking with me and giving me feedback and being a part of the show and entertaining people. I realized how much of a passion that really was, and I loved doing the station that we used to have. I forget exactly what it was called. It was 90 something point something. It was like Hit FM or something, and Skinny Z and Fatty J. I can't remember exactly. If you can maybe Google Skinny Z and Fatty J, because I know we were in some kind of computer magazine for one of the top 100 online radio stations when we were like 14 years old. So, those were the good times, man. But I learned so much hanging with someone like that, and just teaching myself and being around and in that environment every day. It was, an amazing experience, and that's why it scares me even more to know that that's the generation now that we're seeing. These are the hackers that are doing this kind of stuff, that grew up hacking things and stealing things and messing with people's accounts and stuff like that. And these kids are geniuses and genius minds. And the thing is, we want them on the good side and not the bad side. That's the biggest problem, because it can become a serious fucking issue if they are working on the wrong side and they have malicious intent to destroy things, to steal things. It becomes very, 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 very scary. I really think that, the biggest thing that was the Sony thing that was an issue is that, at first they kind of freaked out and they said, we're not going to release a movie, blah, blah, blah. First we're not going to release it in theaters, we're only going to release things. And then they, the North Koreans or whatever, they say, whoever hacked it, said, no, you can't release it at all. And then they said, we're not releasing it all, and blah, blah, because they were afraid that, someone might shoot somebody up in a movie theater, because those were the threats that were being thrown at them. So, they got paranoid. And then President Obama came and said, you can never give in to terrorists or terroristic threats, because it opens the floodgates. And that's exactly what I believe has happened. Now, if some of these hacking groups think that they think that they can flex a little bit, they can flex that muscle and say, you're going to do this, or we're going to show all your secrets. And it's just, it was a bad way for anything to happen, because It's not good. You open the floodgates. Now we're going to see lots of other threats. Lots of these little pissant terrorist groups, cyber terrorists, hackers popping up and having these stupid goals and stupid things that they're going to try to get done. You know, I swear to you, you're going to see it a lot. And like I said, they're attacking Xbox Live and Facebook and PlayStation Network and stuff like that. I mean, those were places that they, who cares if they hack that? Yeah, you have some pissed off gamers or stuff like that, but is it really that big of a deal? No. What happens when they focus that on, oil business, or what happens when they focus it on, I'm trying to think, what's a good example? Water filtration plant, or, if they get themselves inside there and they really can cause some damage, say Social Security or payroll, maybe they'll hook you up and give you a bunch more money, or something, and make a bunch of errors so you get paid out. Or maybe they'll do the opposite, so they fuck everything up, and it makes, fucks our economy up, or, like Die Hard 4, where they're in Washington, D.C., and they take control of the whole grid and shut off the electric, What would happen if they shut down all the electric, all the street lights, everything goes out, there's chaos and pandemonium. They kill all the heat. The gas company, they somehow attack it. These are the worries and the things I think about. And like I said, growing up with this kind of stuff and being around smart minds that understand it, I think it's out of the possibility of actually seeing an attack or a terror attack or a cyber attack that focuses on that. Not at all. Not at all. I'm really going to be surprised if we don't see something like that. And that'll cause some serious damage, and there have to be serious damage control. And I think with the Sony thing, it's just the way it was handled was so poorly that it's just created a pipeline for more and more issues and more problems that we're gonna definitely be running into and definitely gonna have to deal with. For my generation and the generations behind me, this technology stuff is really going to get interesting. And the crimes that we're going to see people get arrested for is going to be bizarre. The things people are going to be using the internet to do. You already, with Craigslist, this shit is getting, ridiculous. I seen down in Georgia and some other states, that guys going to sell, kids are getting killed over selling an iPhone, and they go to rob a kid for an iPhone 6, and they shoot the kid and kill him. This older elderly couple went to get a truck. They meet this guy and look at his truck. They're going to buy his truck from him. They show up. He shoots them both in the head and robs them and pushes their truck into a pond, and they found it, busted him. We just have there's dark people out there, there's evil people out there, and they're going to use that stuff to their advantage, and that's where it gets very, very dangerous. Craigslist can be an awesome tool, easy way to get rid of things, easy way to sell things for anybody. The great idea, great concept, works perfect when it's used the right way, but it also can be used very evil, very manipulative way. Lots of thieves, lots of drugs. But we're going to see, that's someone taking a good system and manipulating that system to their own beneficial ways and working that system their own way so that they can exploit it. And that's what we're going to see a lot more of is the exploitation of using these services and these applications and this internet and these new websites and stuff that pop up in different ways and committing different crimes with them that you would never even think that was possible. But all we can do is just stay vigilant, stay alert on your account, especially if you use online banking and stuff like that, keeping track of your funds. Sometimes especially when you're like me and you're paying, you have so many funds and so many bills and stuff that you're paying, hard to keep track of those accounts and what's going in and what's coming out. And, that's why you still have a checkbook that you can balance with a pen, Sometimes old school ways were done that way for a reason. Sure, you could do it digitally too, but then that information's still there, Sometimes those old methods were put in place for a reason, and it's hard to see a world where you wouldn't use that because it's easy. And I'm not gonna sit here and fucking say that I'm not impressed with technology and not thrilled with a lot of the stuff they're doing. I just really worry too. And I'm not here on the RowdCAST to make you scared or make you shit your pants or just tell you all the negative things. I know that probably seems a lot of the time on here that I'm ranting and raving lunatic and trying to scare you or freak you out. I'm not fucking Alex Jones. I'm not going to sit up here and tell you the Ruskies are about to invade or Cuba's going to backstab us and try to take Florida or something like that. I know I say some bizarre things and things that are out there that are unfathomable and untrue probably to believe, but I really try to back the things I say up with facts and as much factual stuff as I have for you. But, I really think that the times when they're scary and what can be done with this technology is even scarier. And, but as many people that are out there to do bad with the stuff, there's that many, if not more, that want to do good and want to create things that are helpful in science and in medicine and people can benefit off of and use to get better and get healthier and get stronger. And, we have lots of people like that. It's just those fucking assholes that want to take everything and manipulate it and use it so that they can make a quick buck or they can, hurt somebody or violate somebody or, wrong somebody. But they forget one thing, no matter if they're using technology to do it and they think they're untraceable, because they're not, and that's why we have the NSA and the things that we do these days, and we may not agree with everything that they do and think that they, infringe a little too hard, but it's also there for certain reasons too, to protect us, and we can't ever forget about that. There are things that they use that for that benefits our lives. So, for all those creeps out there, those fucking Buffalo Bills now that can just chat with somebody instead of sneaking up and stuffing them into a van or something. Maybe that helps as an outlet or something. I don't really know. But, the one last thing that I wanted to talk about with the cyber terrorists and shit, taking over things. If you think about where our military's at and how close we are, they're starting to build these super soldier suits and shit where it's like these exoskeletons where they makes them run faster and jump higher and stronger, like goddamn RoboCop fucking spine that they put on, and helps them like be more accurate. I mean, a goddamn thing looks like fucking RoboCop. And it's a suit that they wear. It's like an exoskeleton or something they call it. It's like something straight out of fucking, Terminator or fucking Matrix or something. And they have these things they're saying they're going to put them on as patrols in cities and stuff. When people are fleeing, they're like cheetahs, and they can run like, I want to say like 60 miles an hour, maybe faster than that, maybe 90 miles an hour. but they can chase people down, like when they're in pursuit of people or cars or something. That these things can cruise, and they're robots. And these drones that we use, that shoot missiles and spy on people, that we have them fly all over the place now. These are all robots. And what happens when either one straight up Terminator becomes reality, and the machines get so smart, we make their artificial intelligence so smart that they fucking start bombing us, and they get smart enough that they realize that we're the reason the planet's dying, and they start killing us. I mean, that seems pretty factual, doesn't it? With all the shit that we do, all the plants that we destroy, and the air we pollute, and the fracking we do, and the water we contaminate, and the forest we cut down, and all the shit that we mess with and fuck with in the world. The machines think, well, hey, we don't live like them. We don't need all the natural resources they need. They're ruining this planet, and they're going to destroy everything. Let's kill them. So then they kill us. Either that could happen. I know that's pushing the envelope a little bit. That could happen. Or they could, I doubt that's going to happen. But what it becomes is all these super soldiers and these things that we're using on the battlefield, and that we're controlling with technology so that we can keep more men, boots away, and keep things, keep our eye on things, and spy on things and watch things. You see, what happens if these hackers, these cyber terrorists can get control of them? That's when you start seeing the crazy, real science fiction type thing, where they take our own robots and our own soldiers and they turn them against us. And, I would think that our military would be building things with that in mind, thinking of something like that, because even back in the day when they thought with the Russians and stuff, and Nazis, they thought about like mind control and shit. They thought that that was their biggest thing, that they would catch our soldiers and brainwash them. I mean, that wasn't the biggest thing, but there was a fear, that they would psychologically brainwash them and then turn our own soldiers against us, and our own soldiers would come back and kill our own men. But it's kind of like that, But when you have someone that's that smart and can control understands how to reroute the AI or switch things around, go in and hack it and change the program, then it becomes very, very fucking interesting to see what they really can't get their hands into. Taking control. Say our tanks are unmanned now, and they start taking control of the tanks, taking control of the drones and the bombs and our planes, using it for their own beneficial things. And and that, if that can be done, then you have a country, that realistically their force, their army size, may not be impressive, or their arsenal may not be impressive, but because they're hackers and the people that are smart with the computers and stuff are so powerful that it makes that country, someone you didn't ever seen coming. That's a reality, man. That's a real fucking fear. It's one of my real fears. But hey, I know I'm a little crazy. I know I got a screw loose or so. So, it is what it is. I'm really happy that this episode has stayed pretty legit the whole time, and still recording live, or pretty far in there. So that's a good feeling. I hope that I wanted to get this. I leave tomorrow morning to head down to Florida and get out of this fucking cold for a little bit. 0 degrees all week and -10 all week was it's getting it's pushing my patience a little too much. I'm ready to see a little sunshine. So I wanted to get this episode to you guys before I left, because I really thought this was a good one, and I've had so much trouble trying to do this. And like I said, this is the third time I've tried to record this, but everything seems good. Seems like it's going through, and So I'm going to get up at 4 in the morning, head to the airport, get on my way to Florida, spend a week there with my girlfriend, checking out beaches and eating good food and drinking good beer. I'm pretty pumped. I need a vacation. I'm ready. So, like I said, I really wanted to get this to you. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I hope it open your mind a little more, just like the RowdCAST likes to do. Expands your brain to the utmost, the 10th degree, the utmost all-seeing and believing fucking metaphorical funk express that we call the RowdCAST. You know, there's only one Rowdy Radloff, and there's only one fucking RowdCAST, and it's coming to you goddamn weekly from fucking Bellevue, Ohio, in the RowdCAST studio. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to continue to pump these things out and keep you guys fucking entertained. And definitely leave me some feedback on the episode. Let me know what you thought. Stick it on the Facebook page. Stick it in speaker. If you have questions, put them up. We'll answer them on the next episode. And I love you guys. I appreciate each and every one of you. And we are just crushing. I mean, the views that I'm getting are, you know, more than I've ever seen. I seen like yesterday I had almost 100 views in a day. So I appreciate everybody that's checking it out. Keep telling people about it. Keep spreading the word. Get me on iTunes. If you're into iTunes, you can subscribe to the podcast on iTunes. You can check me out on Facebook. Add me on Facebook, and that'll update all the live episodes that are on. And I always put up recaps and recast the old episodes of the week. So, like I said, love all you beautiful people out there, and I'm going to go enjoy me some sunshine. I will be back next Sunday. Not this Sunday, next Sunday. I will be back with a brand new RowdCAST. Should have an interesting guest with me, and we'll go from there. All right? Like I said, love you all. Be good to each other, and remember that karma is real.